All right, you bunch of yahoos, strap yourselves in for another episode of Dan and Don's Toxic Masculinity.
In other words, shut up, sit up, and pay attention.
I want to talk about your favorite topic. We'll talk about the Gracie family. So out of all of those guys, which one of them do you think is the best fighter?
Well, I think Sakuraba. Oh, I'm sorry. He wasn't a Gracie. Okay, he was a
Killer, the Gracie Killer.
He was a Gracie destroyer.
Yeah.
Again, I don't say that really just to hit a big stick, but I do that to make a point that the Gracies were good at what they did, but
which was jujitsu and marketing.
Yeah, so that's what a lot of people don't understand on this. I mean, it was when you look at the UFC was basically the brainchild of Art Davie, and Art Davie was a businessman, so he didn't really understand the athletic aspect of it. He heard of the Gracie Challenge, and he knew who Jorge Gracie was, so he basically partnered up with Jorge Gracie to be a matchmaker, and lo and behold, you have one of his brothers that is in the event, and he's the matchmaker. So, am I saying much after that? No, but
and he not only was he the matchmaker, but he was the one who got he approved the fighters. Approved or disapproved the fighters. And you say who would be competing?
Yep. So. I'll just say that I'm trying to be a little bit nice here right now, but it's almost like I have to bite my tongue a little bit in the process here. Because what went down was not right. And I like to think of myself as the monkey wrench that hit the system because as long as I finished up with the first two people, I got to come back. That's the way the contract read. So UFC number 4 was still owned by them, and then by UFC 5 and beyond, it was sold. And that's when I did do my very first training camp for 32 days, and I came back and I destroyed the field in a record time. So,
yes, you did.
That's one of the things that I'm kind of proud of right there. So,
up in what? Who's yours, Don Ishmael?
What's that?
Your favorite Gracie?
We really don't know about the Gracies because all you saw was Hoist, but you heard that Hickson was 10 times better than Hoist. But I never saw Hickson fight. I never saw any tapes on the man or anything. So, and then I guess the one pride fight he did was against the pro wrestler. So you really never seen him actually compete against a real competitor.
Right on. Well, we'll stick into the family topic here since Nick is coming back and fighting there this month. Who do you think? So what about that? Diaz.
Oh,
the Diaz brothers.
Okay.
So, what do you think about them?
I love the Diaz brothers, man. I think they're great. I think they're fantastic for the sport, and I just like them all the way around, I like their attitude, the way they don't put up with any bullshit, and I like how they come straight at you. There's no backing up with them boys. They come in to fight.
They're both very blunt to the point on what they say, and they don't mind being struck in the face, and then basically throwing strikes right back at you.
Right.
So,
unfortunately, they got so much scar tissue. You just say the word fight and they start to bleed.
Yeah, that is. They got that scar tissue. That's the old setup. It should be known that if the Diaz brother steps in there, he's going to start bleeding. But is he going to stop? Nope.
Not gonna make him waver at all.
The way you used to fight, you like to get hit in the face a few times, keep going.
Who you talking to, boy? Warm you up, man. Warm you up. Yep. I remember the first time I was against Ramirez in Puerto Rico. Well, I just lumbered out there, and all of a sudden, bam, he hit me, cracked my nose, and go, damn, wake up, Fry, you're in a fight. I was still waving in the crowd, you know.
Well, again, now that was again to get crowds for that event. I mean, that was a special event. That was called the David versus Goliath.
Correct.
So, because a lot of people, again, a lot of people, I hate to say this, but a lot of Americans were not good about our history. And so, again, I'm big about educating people. So, you were involved in a very unique event where David versus Goliath, because there was like 4 lighter weight individuals up against 4 much bigger opponents in this event. And lo and behold, who ends up winning the David versus Goliath tournament? And
David.
There you go, David wins.
Little Don Frye, who brought a slingshot along. But yeah, it was almost 8 new competitors. I think they had 2 guys who had only 2 guys who had fought in the UFC before, and the rest, the other 6 were new to the UFC.
Yeah, I think one of them wasn't because it was being held in the state of on island of Puerto Rico that they had to have one of their athletes in there as well. I remember there was some political aspect to that event as well.
There was what?
There's some political, unrest or whatever about that as well. I just thought, I don't remember it all because it's so long ago, and it's just, maybe my mind is not as sharp as it once was.
Oh, come on now, Dan.
You did ask if I still have that first penny now. I still have that one. So,
That's it.
What do you guys think about Nick coming back to fight?
I think it's great.
Yeah.
I think it's great for the sport. I think it's great for Nick, I think it's great for the fans.
And him versus Lawler, that's going to be a good fight.
That's going to be a hell of a fight, yeah.
I'm excited to see that.
When is that?
This coming up next weekend.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, the 25th.
Good. It's about time to get a decent fight.
Yeah. And Ortega's going to be on that, too.
Oh, yeah? Great. Yeah, Brian Ortega. I love watching Brian fight.
Yeah, he's badass.
He's a good fighter.
I think that's the Ultimate Fighter coaches match.
So where's this one held at?
I don't know.
Oh, geez. You bring up all this,
LA,
you badmouth us about not knowing.
No. This one's in Vegas. The T-Mobile Arena in Vegas. Yeah. Well, if you would have got us tickets, we would have known where it was.
Well, Mr. Severn, shit. He's the one who he shamed us all, I mean, he said, let's go to the fight, and then he was in the wrong part of the country,
Yep. Well, get this. I would love to bet there.
Next time. All right. So now we're gonna compare 2 fighters.
See how easy I brushed that off and put the spot on Dan, and then I'm getting to clean.
Yep, that's right. All right. Well, let's go with what do you think about Fedor and DC? Compare those 2 guys.
Well, I mean, if I'll jump in right now. I mean, I would say that Fedor, but again, that's just my quick assumption, only because of Fedor's style, Fedor's just his way that he can endure. I'll say some punishment, although I've never seen him take much punishment, but he's watch when you watch the match between him and Randleman at the time, I would have thought that Fedor would have had a broken neck coming out of it, but to come out of being thrown and then to be able to catch Kevin Randleman with an armbar the way he did was just simply amazing. I don't know. Again, you're talking about a Fedor at his prime. I don't think a Fedor is at his prime now, but I mean, again, at his prime, I'd go with the Fedor all day long.
Yeah, because Fedor is more of a real well-rounded fighter, and he had a hell of a punch on him too. Where
yes, he did.
Yeah, DC DC primarily relied on his wrestling because he's such an outstanding, great wrestler. I mean, make the Olympic team twice. He's a hell of a wrestler.
Yeah. Again, I didn't want to take that from DC, but yeah, as I said, because the game has evolved that much more, that Fedor's grappling ability would have probably neutralized DC's, and that now so that striking in there, that's why I say it would have been Fedor.
And also Fedor, he's more like water off a duck's back. You can say or do anything. He'd come up to the face off, and he'd just be kind of like, yeah, okay, about to fall asleep, Where DC, you get underneath his skin real easy. Jones did. I don't know if anybody else did, but Jones got underneath his skin, and it'll blow him out of his game.
Yep. So I got one for Don. What about DC versus the Beast?
The Black Beast?
Well, we know what'll happen there. His balls will get hot.
Yeah, my bowels
is
hot.
What are you trying to say there, Don? I did not wake up this morning and identify as a Black Beast. What are you trying to say here now?
What did you identify as today, sweetheart?
Well, I know where you're going with this. I just thought I'd just kind of rattle your cage.
You're the sugar loaf beast today, huh?
Yep.
Thank you for watching another episode of Dan and Don's Toxic Masculinity. You better like, subscribe, and share, or I'm going to come to your house.